Hi guys, nice to see you. Hello, Elena.
Hello, lady. I'm very glad to see you.
Nice to see you too. And Alexis.
Hello, dear friends. Nice to see you.
Right, and Nisa, hello.
Hello, my friends. Hello, lady.
Right, from the picture, you can guess what we are going to talk about today, because next week in class, I have to dress up. I have to do some activity, very limited because we're still doing protocol, but something we have to do. So I thought we would talk about this today. So just quickly now, Elena, do you celebrate Halloween in the Ukraine?
Yes, people already get this tradition, and Ukrainians celebrate Halloween. But it's not some deep meaning behind of it. It's like an entertainment, and people just enjoy this day without.
So maybe they're copying from another place or another country. So it doesn't really come from the Ukraine, what you are doing. It's like an excuse to be with children and have a good time. Or do they have a tradition in the Ukraine from many years ago?
No, it's something new for us. I myself didn't celebrate it when I was a kid, but my children already like this tradition, and they want to celebrate. It's funny, just funny for them.
Yeah, I think it's more like commercial, and it's passing from one country to another, maybe. This is my opinion. And Alexis, in Russia, is it the same or is it a different thing?
I think the same, but as for my family, we don't celebrate and maybe don't understand this. As I walk in the store and in the shop, and I can see marketing use this idea for attract some more customers, and this event also cultivated in other entertainment industry.
Yes, so I think you are right there. And you, Nisa, what about in Italy?
In Italy, of course, this Halloween is from USA, I think. But here in Italy, I think the last 5-10 years, we celebrate Halloween.
So it's quite new. So it's
yes,
quite new. And I think,
like,
yeah, I think it's what Alexis says, that it's come from America, because America brings globalization and marketing and etc. And people see it in the films and they want to imitate what they see in the films.
As
no?
Alex said, I don't understand this.
Well, maybe today you don't have to agree with it, but maybe you will understand it a little bit better, right? So off we go. We're going to start with a bit of vocabulary. So what I would like you to do, Elena, if I go back to the vocabulary, is you would look fancy dress and try and choose one of these things that would mean fancy dress. And if you have a problem, just let me know and I will help you.
Okay. Fancy dress, it's C, special clothes to dress up as a character or thing.
Right, so the special clothes to get dressed up in this celebration. Alex, to adopt.
To adopt, I think G, to accept or start something new.
Right, okay. And Nisa, tradition?
A tradition and something people have done for a long time.
Right, harvest. Yeah. Elena?
When fruit and vegetables are taken from trees and the ground.
Very good. And to carve, Alexis?
Carve, I don't know.
Something to do with a knife.
Knife. Cut a picture or a letter of in a surface.
Right, to carve, right? Okay. a punishment, Nisa, a punishment.
A punishment, I think, is something that happens to you when you do something wrong or bad.
Yes. And Elena, a witch.
A woman who can do magic.
Right. And commercial, Alex.
Commercial, something. Makes money for companies.
Right. Okay then. Just out of curiosity, Elena, are witches recognized in Ukraine? Is there like a tradition or a history of black magic there in your country?
Witches, yes, we have in our Ukrainian countries women from very old times, and this woman take like a wise woman and not something bad, and something out of the big cities. People like to go to this women and ask about help with like medicine help or
Right.
like that.
So maybe they live in a small village and they were knowledgeable, and when people had a big problem that they couldn't solve, maybe they go and look for this woman as a last resort to help them with the problem. Okay, so as normal, we will do a reading. So Alex, would you like to start? Now, this is an opinion about from the person who wrote it.
Okay.
Off we go.
The origins of Halloween. If you think of Halloween, you probably think to scary carved pumpkins, all kinds of fancy dress, and children asking for sweets. And if you think of a country that celebrates Halloween, you probably think of the United States first. Americans and Canadians have adopted Halloween in a big way, but Halloween traditions actually comes from 16th century Ireland, Scotland, and England.
Right. So I don't know a lot about history, but I make it very simple. Normally, the things that happen in America is because people have taken them there. And all the traditions they have adopted, and they have made them bigger and more commercial. And this is why they have passed from one. So scary carved pumpkins. Okay, so carved is when you've taken your knife and you have made the face into the pumpkin. If we stop after every paragraph, and if you don't understand something, ask me and I will try to explain very simple. Right, Nisa, the next paragraph.
Yes. The tradition of Halloween on 31st October comes from the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Samhain was the Celtic New Year, and they celebrated it on 1st November because that was the end of summer and the harvest time and the beginning of winter. Life and death.
Yeah.
It was also the time for ghosts to return to Earth for a day. People lit a big fire, wore special clothes made of animal skin, and hoped to be safe from the ghosts and the winter. In AD
609.
AD 609. The Catholic Church put the Christian celebration of All Saints' Day on 1st November. In AD 1000, the Church added All Souls' Day on 2nd November, and All Hallows Eve or Halloween moved to the night of the 31st.
Right. So also, if you just read a little bit about history, not a lot, normally things started in pagan times when people didn't believe in the gods that we know now. So they used to worship the sun, the stars, the moon, or other things. And then the church saw that they were very popular, their celebrations, and so they took them over and put their own there in the calendar. So if you read about it, it's in the history like that, okay? So I think the people in these times were so afraid of things they didn't understand. So this is when they used to get dressed up and try to frighten away the things that they saw in the night, maybe a shadow or something. And as it said, Hallow means the eve, the night before. So if you see like Christmas Eve, it means the night before the 25th as well, okay? And also here it mentions that All Souls Day is on the 2nd and All Saints Day is on the 1st. So that's what they really celebrate here in Spain, more than Halloween. And I will talk about that later, so not to get carried away. So it doesn't come from America then. Right then. So Elena, pumpkins.
Pumpkins. The Celts carved faces into vegetables like turnips, potatoes, and squash. A pumpkin is a kind of squash. To scare their hosts and other spirits and make them go away. It was sometimes called a jack-o'-lantern because of an Irish story about a man, Jack. He played a trick on the devil and then had to walk the earth for all time as a punishment. Irish people who came to live in the United States in the 1800s found pumpkins much easier to carve, and the tradition became the one we see today.
Right, so you will have to look up in your own dictionary what a turnip is. A turnip is a white vegetable. It's hard, and I can't translate it into your different languages, right? So it's hard. It's like a carrot, but fatter, right? And it's white. So that was the original jack-o'-lantern, because that's the vegetable they had in the UK. And then, as it says, it went to America, and the vegetable they had there were pumpkins or squash, whichever word you want to use. And so you have the vegetable, which is called a pumpkin, and then when you carve it, you call it jack-o'-lantern. You change the name, right? Okay. So, Alex, you have some questions. Let's see if you can answer them.
Which country was the last to start Halloween celebration? Last, I think, United States.
Right, okay. And the next one, Alex, number 2?
Number 2. For the ancient Celts, winter was a time for celebration, time when the life became harder, when they went to the church, when they saw
ghosts.
Oh, ghosts?
So you think it's not, I'm not saying that was the answer, I was just doing the pronunciation. So which one do you think it is?
D, when they saw ghosts, or maybe a time when the life became harder. Winter was 3 a.m. B.
Right, so I copied the answers, not because I was very good at this, okay? So it just makes life a bit quicker. Right then, Nisa, you can do the next one.
Yes, why did they restart carving faces into pumpkins instead of turnips and potatoes? There weren't any turnips and potatoes in the United States. They brought the pumpkins with them for Ireland, also less difficult to carry. Pumpkins were punishment for doing bad things. But I think C.
Right, okay. And you've got one more.
Okay. American, for me?
Yes.
Okay. American Halloween today is less scary than in the past. Yes. Scarier than in the past, less popular than when the first people come to America, similar to way the Native Americans celebrated than ours, less scary than in the past, I think.
Right.
I
Okay.
hope.
Yeah, because you can imagine before people used to live in like villages with the forest.
Oh yeah, yes.
And the dark, and the trees used to make shades and different things. So you can imagine just going out at night must have
No,
been
actually,
really
I'm
frightening.
a little bit scared also in these days, but anyway.
So just going out at night would make it frightening. Okay, so that's the end of this part.